Bullets run out, but the gear on this list just keeps going. We are counting down 15 home defense weapons available right now on Amazon that completely bypass the need for traditional firearms. From thermal optics that see through walls to blades designed by combat masters, and a number 4 pick that is an absolute game changer for perimeter security. You can snag any of these directly from the links in the description below. Just a heads up, the prices mentioned are current as of this recording, but can fluctuate based on sales and seller updates. We've mixed up the list blades, tech, kinetics, so you never know what's coming next. Let's get into the countdown. Number 15, Spyderco Yojimbo 2 Signature Model, priced to $196. When Self-Defense Authority Michael Janich sat down to design a tool for close quarters combat, he didn't just want another pocket knife, he wanted an extension of the human hand that leveraged natural body mechanics. The result is widely considered one of the most aggressive and distinct tactical folders ever produced. Most knives are designed for utility first and defense second, but this specific model flips that script entirely. It is unapologetically purpose-built for personal protection. The first thing you notice is that bizarre, almost futuristic blade shape. This is a Wharncliffe profile, but it's been modified. In traditional knife fighting, you are often taught complex wrist articulations and slashing techniques. However, under the extreme stress of a home invasion, fine motor skills evaporate. You are left with gross motor movement, basically punching and pushing. This tool is engineered to transfer the force of a punch into a devastating cut. Because the cutting edge is perfectly straight, it transfers full power all the way to the tip, unlike a curved belly which can slide off the target. The tip itself is thickened and reinforced, addressing the common failure point of fine-tipped tactical knives. It offers needle-like penetration without the fragility of a needle. Let's talk about the steel. Spyderco uses CPM S30V here. This is a premium powder metallurgy stainless steel. In the world of metallurgy, S30V is the sweet spot between edge retention and corrosion resistance. It holds a razor edge for a frighteningly long time, but it's not so hard that it becomes brittle. If you are using this in a defensive scenario, you need that steel to be tough enough to encounter zippers, buttons, or thick clothing without chipping. The blade features a hollow grind which thins out the edge geometry to make it an exceptional slicer. Then there is the lock. It utilizes the compression lock mechanism, which is located on the spine of the handle rather than the liner. This is crucial for safety. When you are deploying or closing this blade, your fingers are never in the path of the sharp edge. It's also significantly stronger than a standard liner lock, capable of withstanding massive amounts of shock and pressure without failing. The handle scales are made of textured G10, a fiberglass laminate that is impervious to moisture and chemicals. The texture is aggressive. It feels like 80 grit sandpaper, ensuring that even if your hands are wet or sweaty, this tool is not leaving your grip. Ergonomically, the handle is tapered. This allows for what is called a thumb-forward grip. You place your thumb on the spine of the blade, which gives you immense control and allows you to drive the cut with the power of your shoulder and back, rather than just your wrist. At just 4 ounces, it disappears in the pocket, but when deployed, it offers the cutting performance of a much larger fixed blade. It's surgical, precise, and terrifyingly efficient. Number 14, AGM Global Vision Taipan TM 10-, 256. To $599. How? You can have the biggest stick in the world, but it means absolutely nothing if you cannot see the threat. Most home defense conversations focus on the weapon, ignoring the intelligence gathering. In a pitch-black house or a large backyard property at night, flashlight beams can give away your position. This handheld unit changes the dynamic entirely by allowing you to see heat signatures, turning the cover of darkness into your greatest advantage. Unlike night vision, which amplifies existing light and can still be fooled by shadows or camouflage, thermal imaging detects infrared radiation. Every living object emits heat. This monocular features a 12-micron thermal detector with a resolution of 256 by 192. That might sound low compared to your 4K TV, but in the world of thermal optics, that is military-grade clarity for a handheld device. It allows you to spot a human-sized heat signature from hundreds of yards away. If someone is hiding behind a bush in your yard, a flashlight will just show you the leaves. This device will show you a glowing red or white figure behind the leaves. The refresh rate here is 25 Hz. This is a critical spec. Many cheaper consumer thermal cameras run at 9 Hz, which creates a choppy, lagging image that looks like a bad slideshow when you move the camera. At 25 Hz, the motion is fluid. If you are scanning a fence line or checking a dark hallway, you get real-time feedback. It also offers multiple color palettes: black hot, white hot, red hot, and fusion. Red hot is particularly useful for rapid threat detection, as it highlights the hottest part of the image, usually the core body heat of an intruder in bright red, making it impossible to miss. Durability is key for a grab-and-go emergency tool. The unit is rated IP67 waterproof. You can drop it in a meter of water for 30 minutes, and it will still work. It's also drop-tested from 1.5 meters. The internal lithium battery provides more than 8 hours of continuous running time. That is an entire night of surveillance on a single charge. It charges via USB-C, which is the modern standard, meaning you can keep it topped up with the same power bank you use for your phone. Another overlooked feature is the built-in Wi-Fi hotspot. You can actually stream the view from the monocular to a smartphone. Imagine a scenario where one person is scanning the perimeter with the monocular, while another family member is watching the feed on a phone in a safe room, recording the footage for legal evidence. It also has 8 GB of internal storage to snap photos or video directly on the device. For home defense, information is ammunition, and this device gives you the ability to see the unseen. Number 13, Estwing E45 ASE Special Edition Camper's Axe. Price to $65. 0. We are shifting from high-tech surveillance to absolute, undeniable brute force. Sometimes, the complexity of moving parts is a liability. Batteries die, springs break, and lubricants dry out. A solid piece of American steel does none of those things. This 26-inch tool is a masterclass in impact durability, blurring the line between a campsite necessity and a formidable breaching weapon. The defining characteristic of this brand is the construction method, drop forging. This isn't a wooden handle with a metal head stuck on top, which is the point of failure for 90% of axes. This entire tool, from the cutting edge of the head, down the neck, and all the way to the pommel of the handle, is one single, continuous piece of solid American steel. It is physically impossible for the head to fly off. In a defensive scenario, or a scenario where you need to breach a door or chop through debris to escape a fire, that reliability is non-negotiable. This specific special edition model features a matte black coating that serves 2 purposes. First, it reduces glare. If you are moving in low light, you don't want a shiny chrome axe head reflecting streetlights and giving you away. Second, it provides a layer of corrosion resistance to the high carbon steel beneath. But let's talk about the reach factor. At 26 inches, this provides a significant standoff distance. Against an attacker wielding a knife or a bat, the extra length of this axe allows you to strike or hook from a safer range. The geometry of the head is thin enough to bite deep into wood or other targets, but thick enough to act as a wedge for prying. Estwing is famous for their shock reduction grip, which is bonded directly to the steel tang. This isn't just a rubber sleeve, it's a proprietary material designed to reduce impact vibration by up to 70%. If you have ever hit something hard with a solid steel bar, you know the sting that travels up your arm. This grip mitigates that, allowing for repeated, full power swings without hand fatigue or losing your grip. While it is sold as a camper's axe, the weight distribution makes it a devastating melee weapon. It is heavy enough to crush through barriers, but balanced enough to be swung with one hand if necessary, leaving your other hand free for a flashlight or to interact with doors. The pole, the backside of the axe head, is flat, meaning it doubles as a heavy hammer. This creates a multimodal tool, the sharp edge for cutting and intimidation, and the hammer face for non-cutting impact or smashing through locks and hinges. It is the ultimate low-tech insurance policy. Number 12, Crosman DPMS SBR Full Auto Air Rifle. Price to $179. Psychological deterrence is a massive component of defense. If an intruder hears the distinct mechanical cycling of a bolt or sees the silhouette of an AR platform rifle, the fight often ends right there. This air rifle offers that exact visual and auditory presence, backed up by a stinging pain compliance capability that is legal to own in most places without a license. It is a 1-to-1 scale replica of a short-barreled rifle, and the attention to detail is staggering. This system runs on two 12-gram CO2 cartridges housed in the magazine. This dual power source is necessary because of the rate of fire. When you flip the selector switch to full auto, this thing spits out steel BBs at a cyclic rate of 1,400 rounds per minute. That is a blistering speed. While a single BB is merely annoying, a cloud of 20 or 30 BBs hitting a target in under a second creates a beehive effect. It is incredibly overwhelming and painful, designed to force an intruder to cover their face and retreat. The velocity clocks in at around 430 feet per second FPS. It's not lethal, but it will break skin, shatter glass, and cause significant trauma at hallway distances. The realism is what sells it. It features a genuine blowback action. The bolt physically moves back and forth with every shot, providing recoil feedback and that loud metallic clack 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 sound. It has a 6-position adjustable stock, allowing you to tailor the length of pull to your body size, making it easier to maneuver in tight indoor spaces. The angled foregrip comes standard, helping you control the muzzle during rapid fire, but the real tactical advantage lies in the quad rail handguard. It features Picatinny rails on the top, bottom, and sides. This means you can mount actual tactical accessories, flashlights, lasers, or red dot sights directly onto this air rifle. You can set it up exactly like a real home defense carbine. The 25-round magazine drops free just like the real thing, allowing for reload drills. The weight is substantial, over 6 pounds. It feels real in the hand. This prevents the toy feeling that plagues many airguns. In a high-stress situation, the muscle memory required to operate this is identical to a standard AR-15. You insert the mag, charge the handle, flip the safety, and fire. For those who cannot own a firearm due to local laws or personal preference, this provides the closest possible functional equivalent in terms of ergonomics, intimidation, and rapid-fire suppression. It forces an attacker to rethink their life choices immediately. Number 11. Olight Javelot TAC-P. Price to $120. Most people buy flashlights based on one number, lumens. But in a tactical home defense scenario, lumens are only half the story. You need candela. This light is a masterclass in candela, which is the measurement of light intensity at the center of the beam. While a standard floodlight washes out a whole room, the Javelot TAC-P punches a concentrated hole through the darkness. It is designed to throw light up to 600 meters, that is 6 football fields. Inside a hallway or living room, that focused intensity does something violent to the human eye. It creates a photonic barrier. When you blast an intruder in the face with this beam, their vision isn't just impaired, it is completely whited out. They cannot see your hands, they cannot see what weapon you are holding, and they cannot judge the distance between you and them. You are effectively invisible behind a wall of light. This model is built specifically for weapon mounting, but its form factor allows for handheld use just as easily. It uses a round LED emitter, which creates a perfectly circular, crisp hotspot with very little spill light. This is crucial because too much spill can reflect off white walls and blind you just as much as the bad guy. This light keeps the blinding power downrange. The interface is brilliant in its simplicity. It features a magnetic remote switch. If you mount this on the air rifle we mentioned earlier or a crossbow, you don't need to fiddle with tiny buttons. You press the pressure pad, and you have instant light. The tail cap itself is tactical. It allows for a 2-stage operation. A half press gives you momentary light on only while you hold it for quick scans, and a full press locks it on. It runs on a proprietary 2040 mAh 18500 rechargeable lithium battery. The runtime on high mode is robust enough for any immediate engagement. The body is aircraft-grade aluminum with Type 3 hard anodizing, meaning it can take a beating against door frames or concrete without failing. It also features a strike bezel on the front. If the situation goes hands-on, the jagged aluminum teeth on the lens rim turn the flashlight itself into an impact tool for muzzle thumping or pressure point compliance. It solves the darkness problem with aggressive precision. Number 10. Cold Steel Chaos Bowie. Price to $85. If you study the brutal history of World War I trench warfare, you will find a specific class of weapons designed for the absolute worst-case scenario. Tight, confined spaces where rifles were useless. This product is a modern resurrection of the classic trench knife. It is not just a knife, it is a closed-fist weapon system. The defining feature here is the massive D-guard handle made from 6061 aluminum. This D-guard completely encases your fingers. In a defensive struggle, hands are often the first target. An attacker might try to smash your hand to make you drop your weapon. With the Chaos Bowie, your hand is inside an aluminum cage. Furthermore, the outside of that guard features tapered steel spikes. This transforms your grip into a devastating knuckle duster. A simple punch, which is the most instinctive human reaction to violence, becomes a reinforced, armor-piercing strike. You can hammer fist, backhand, or punch, and every angle of the handle is a weapon. Then there is the blade. This is a classic Bowie profile, 10.5 inches long, made from SK5 high-carbon steel. SK5 is the Japanese equivalent of American 1080. It is incredibly tough and holds a wicked edge. The clip point, the curved top part of the tip, is sharpened, making it capable of devastating back cuts. The blade is a 1/4 inch thick at the spine. You could practically use this to pry open a crate. It is coated in black Tough X finish to prevent rust and eliminate reflections. The handle geometry is unique, it's sub-hilt inspired. There is a secondary cutout for your index finger, which locks your grip in place. Even if you are swinging with full force, or if the handle becomes slick with fluids, your hand cannot slide forward onto the blade. The pommel, the bottom of the handle, is a solid skull crusher, a dense cone of steel designed to focus all the force of a downward strike into a single point. This is a weapon for when get-back commands have failed and the threat is within arm's reach. It is terrifying, archaic, and undeniably effective. Number 9. United Cutlery M48 Talon Survival Spear to $95. 0-0. The single greatest advantage you can have in a melee confrontation is reach. If you can touch them, but they cannot touch you, you win. The spear is the oldest weapon of war for a reason, and the M48 Talon modernizes it for the 21st century. At just over 44 inches in length, this short spear is optimized for indoor maneuverability. A traditional 7-foot spear is too long to swing in a hallway. This 4-foot length is the Goldilocks, size long enough to keep a knife-wielding attacker out of range, but short enough to corner quickly. The shaft is made from 30% fiberglass reinforced nylon. This is the same material used in modern firearm frames. It is virtually indestructible. You can bend it, stomp on it, or slam it against a wall, and it will snap back to true. It doesn't rot, warp, or crack like wood. The handle is grooved specifically for finger placement, allowing you to choke up for close work or hold it at the base for maximum extension. The business end features an 8-inch blade cast from 2CR13 stainless steel. This is a massive slab of metal. It's not just a needlepoint, it has sharpened edges on both sides and a recurved geometry. This means you can thrust with it like a traditional spear, but you can also slash with it. The weight of the head allows for heavy chopping strikes similar to an axe. The tip is reinforced and thick, designed to punch through heavy clothing or even light improvised armor without snapping. Included with the spear is a heavy-duty TPR, thermoplastic rubber sheath. This is important for home storage. You can keep this next to your bed or behind a door without an exposed blade posing a risk to you or your family. Deployment is instant, just pull the sheath off. In a situation where you need to hold a doorway or a staircase, the fatal funnel, simply presenting a spear point, is a massive psychological deterrent. It taps into a primal fear. No one wants to run onto a spike. It allows you to control the distance and dictate the terms of the engagement. Number 8. Guard Dog Security AccuFire Pepper Spray. Priced to $19. Pepper spray is one of the most effective non-lethal tools in existence, but it has a fatal flaw: aiming. Under stress, with adrenaline dumping into your system, depth perception distorts and fine motor skills fail. People often spray too high, too low, or miss the target entirely, filling the room with spicy air while the attacker keeps coming. The AccuFire solves this problem by integrating a laser sight directly into the spray canister. This is the only pepper spray on the market with this patented technology. As soon as you press the trigger mechanism, a bright red laser dot projects onto the target. It takes the guesswork out of the equation. You don't need to align iron sights or guess the trajectory. If the red dot is on their face, that is where the chemical payload is going. This drastically increases your first hit probability, which is critical because you might only get one shot before the attacker closes the distance. The formula itself is maximum strength. It uses 18% OC, oleoresin capsicum, which is significantly hotter than the standard 10% found in many law enforcement sprays. It also contains a UV dye. Even if the intruder manages to flee the scene, their skin and clothes will be marked with an invisible dye that glows under ultraviolet light, aiding police in identification days later. The delivery system shoots a stream, not a mist. Streams are superior for indoor use because they are less likely to blow back into your face if there is a draft or air conditioning running. It has a range of 16 feet, keeping you well out of arm's reach. The canister design includes a flip-top safety cap that prevents accidental discharge in your pocket or bag but flips up instantly when you slide your thumb under it. At under $20, this is the highest value for money item on the list. It bridges the gap between a clumsy aerosol can and a precision weapon. It gives you the confidence of knowing exactly where your shot will land, and in a high-stress moment, that confidence is everything. Number 7. Zero Tolerance 0308. Price to $320. In the world of folding knives, there are tools, and then there are overbuilt slabs of engineering designed to survive the apocalypse. This model falls squarely into the second category. It is widely known among enthusiasts as a pocket tank, and for good reason. Most folding knives have a weak point, the pivot. If you pry with them or twist them, they snap. This unit was engineered specifically to delete that weakness. It features a massive customized pivot that can be adjusted in the field using a standard 0.25-inch nut. You don't need delicate torque screwdrivers or specialized jeweler's tools. If this knife gets loose after months of hard use, you can tighten it with a wrench from your garage or even a pair of pliers. That kind of field serviceability is rare in high-end production knives and speaks to its intended role as a disaster-ready tool. The blade is made from CPM20CV. This is a particle metallurgy steel that is legendary for its edge retention. It is incredibly resistant to wear. You could cut through thick carpet, cardboard, and zip ties all day, and it would still shave hair off your arm. The blade stock is 0.156 inches thick, nearly as thick as many fixed blades, giving it the structural integrity to pierce heavy materials like car doors or thick plywood without the tips snapping. One side of the handle is machined from solid titanium, which provides the frame lock. Titanium is lighter than steel, but stronger by weight, and it doesn't rust. The other side is Coyote Tan G10, textured for grip. Inside the pivot, it runs on the KVT ball bearing system. Despite being a large, heavy blade, it flies open with a satisfying mechanical thwack the moment you hit the flipper tab. The lock bar also features a hardened steel insert. Titanium is soft, and over time, a titanium lock face can stick to the steel blade. The steel insert prevents this lock stick and ensures the lockup remains solid for thousands of cycles. It is big, it is heavy, and it occupies a significant amount of pocket real estate, but when you hold it, you instantly understand where that $300 price tag went. It is absolute confidence in hand. Number 6. Streetwise Police Force 12M Stun Baton. $39. Stun guns have a bad reputation because many of them are tiny plastic toys that require you to be practically hugging the attacker to use them. This unit is different. It is a baton first and a stun device second. At 13.5 inches long, it gives you that critical foot of extra reach, keeping a knife or a grabby hand away from your body. The headline number here is the voltage output. While voltage numbers in the stun industry are often marketing exaggerated, the visual and auditory display this thing produces is undeniable. When you test fire it into the air, the electricity arcs across the top with a loud, crackling lightning sound. This is the intimidating arc. In many home defense encounters, simply activating the arc is enough to make an intruder decide that this house isn't worth the trouble. It taps into a primal fear of electricity. But the genius of this design is the grab guard strips. These are metal plates that run down the sides of the baton's shaft. A common counter move against a baton is for the attacker to grab the shaft and wrestle it away from you. If they try that with this model, the shock plates will deliver a high voltage jolt directly into their palm. It makes the weapon ungrabbable. You own the weapon, and they cannot take it. It also doubles as a blinding flashlight. It uses a Cree LED bulb that is bright enough to disorient someone in a dark hallway. The body is made from military-grade aluminum alloy, making it solid enough to use as a striking tool even if the battery were to fail. Speaking of batteries, it is rechargeable via a standard slide-out plug, so you don't need to hunt for expensive 9-volt replacements. The safety features are robust. With a master on, off switch on the bottom to prevent accidental discharge in a drawer, and a separate activation button for the stun function. It comes with a holster, but honestly, this is the kind of tool you keep on a nightstand. It is cheap, intimidating, and offers a layer of defense that doesn't require lethal force but certainly demands respect. Number 5. Condor Tool and Knife Engineer Bolo Machete. Priced to $78. If you need to clear a path through a jungle or a hallway, you want forward weight. This tool is based on the heavy-duty entrenching bolos issued to engineers in World War I and II. Unlike a thin, whippy, Latin-style machete that is designed for cutting grass, this is a chopper designed for hardwood and bone. The blade is crafted from 1075 high-carbon steel. This is a spring steel, commonly used in sword making because it is incredibly tough. It can take a massive impact without shattering. The metal is heat-treated to a Rockwell hardness of roughly 50 to 55, which means it is soft enough to bend slightly under stress rather than snapping, but hard enough to hold a working edge. The finish is a classic, Condor Classic natural finish, which gives it a rustic, hand-forged look that screams authenticity. The shape is the key. It widens significantly towards the tip. This shifts the center of gravity forward, acting like a pendulum. When you swing it, the tool does the work for you. You don't need to be a bodybuilder to generate force. Gravity and momentum take over. A light wrist flick with this bolo generates the same impact energy as a full-arm swing with a lighter knife. The handle is made from walnut, which is warm to the touch and provides excellent grip even when wet. It features a curved pommel that hooks around your pinky finger, ensuring the heavy blade doesn't fly out of your hand during a vigorous swing. It is a full tang construction, meaning the metal of the blade runs all the way through the handle. You can see the steel sandwiched between the wood scales. At around 15 inches of overall length with a 10-inch blade, it is compact enough to use indoors without hitting the ceiling or walls, unlike a baseball bat. It comes with a high-quality leather sheath that swivels, making it comfortable to wear while sitting or moving. It is a primitive, brutally effective tool that has stood the test of time because it simply works. Number 4. Hatsan Mod 135 Vortex QE. Priced to $340 that. We are entering the heavy artillery of the airgun world. When people think air rifle, they think of little BB guns that sting. Forget that. This is a big-bore break-barrel rifle chambered in .30 caliber. That is a massive chunk of lead. To put it in perspective, a standard air rifle is 177 caliber. A .30 caliber pellet has enormous mass, and when it hits, it transfers a tremendous amount of kinetic energy upwards of 30 foot-pounds. The power plant inside is not a coiled metal spring, which creates vibration and noise. It uses Hatsan's Vortex gas piston technology. This is a sealed cylinder of compressed nitrogen. When you cock the barrel, you are compressing that gas. The advantage is that gas pistons don't suffer from spring fatigue. You can leave this rifle cocked for hours while waiting for a threat, and it won't lose power. It also produces a smoother, snappier recoil impulse rather than the twangy vibration of a spring. The QE in the name stands for quiet energy. It features a fully integrated sound moderator in 70 built right into the barrel assembly. This cuts the downrange noise by about 50%. In a home defense situation, this is actually a benefit. You won't blow out your own eardrums firing it indoors. The trigger is the Quattro trigger system, a 2-stage fully adjustable match trigger. You can tune the pull weight and travel distance to your preference. A crisp trigger is essential for accuracy, and this rifle is capable of putting rounds through the same hole at 20 yards. The stock is genuine Turkish walnut, which is dense and heavy. This weight helps absorb the recoil, which is significant for an airgun. It also features a shock absorber system, SAS, to further reduce vibration and protect any optics you mount. Speaking of optics, it has a dual rail that accepts both 11mm dovetail and 22mm weaver mounts, so you can slap on a red dot or a high-power scope. While it is single shot, you have to break the barrel to reload every time the sheer power of that single .30 caliber slug is enough to incapacitate or severely discourage any intruder. It is the closest you can get to firearm power without the gunpowder. Number 3. Ontario Knife Company OKC SP10 Marine Raider. Priced to $68. This is not a knife. This is a crowbar with an edge. The SP-10 Marine Raider is a legendary piece of American hardware that has been carried by troops for decades, and for one simple reason, it is virtually indestructible. If you are looking for a blade that can chop through a door frame, pry open a crate, and still function as a terrifying combat weapon, this is the gold standard. The blade is a massive slab of 1095 carbon steel. 1095 is the workhorse steel of the survival world. It isn't stainless, which is why it comes with a thick, gritty black powder coat to protect it from the elements. But what it lacks in rust resistance, it makes up for in pure toughness. It is easy to sharpen and holds a wicked edge. The spine of this knife is a 1/4 inch thick. Pick up a ruler and look at a 1/4 inch. That is an absurd amount of steel. You could hammer this into a brick wall and stand on it, and it wouldn't snap. The design is a modernization of the classic Western Bowie. It features a 9.75-inch blade with a distinct spade tip. This tip geometry is stronger than a needlepoint, designed for digging and prying without breaking. The top edge is swedged, meaning it is thinned out to reduce weight and improve penetration, though it comes unsharpened from the factory. A quick pass with a file can change that if your local laws allow. The handle is made from Kraton. This is a synthetic rubber material that is molded directly onto the full tang. It has deep grooves that provide a sticky grip. Even if your hands are freezing cold, wet, or covered in mud, the Kraton bites into your skin, ensuring the knife never slips. It also absorbs shock exceptionally well, which is crucial when you are using this beast to chop wood or smash glass. The guard is integrated into the handle mold, preventing your hand from sliding forward onto the cutting edge during a thrust. It comes with a heavy-duty nylon and leather sheath that includes a tie-down cord for your leg, keeping the knife secure against your thigh while you move. At under $70, this is arguably the best dollar per pound value in the knife world. It is a tool that commands respect simply by existing. Number 2, SOG Kiku Fixed Blade to $175. If the SP-10 is a sledgehammer, the SOG Kiku is a scalpel. This knife is a collaboration between SOG and one of the most revered blade grinders in the world, Kiku Matsuda of Japan. Kiku-san is famous for his complex, multi-layered grinds, and this production model captures that custom magic in a package available on Amazon. Visually, it is stunning. The blade features a compound grind. Near the handle, the blade is hollow ground. This means the metal is concave, creating an incredibly thin, razor-sharp edge optimized for slicing and fine detail work. However, as you move toward the tip, the grind shifts to a flat or convex geometry. This thickens the metal at the front, giving the tip the strength needed for piercing and prying. You get the best of both worlds, a slicer at the back, a tank at the front. The steel is often Cryo D2 or similar high-end tool steel depending on the specific batch, treated with a cryogenic heat process. This freezing process aligns the molecular structure of the steel, increasing its wear resistance significantly. The blade is finished in a hard gray teeny titanium nitride coating that looks like dark stone-washed armor. But the real star here is the handle. It is made from linen micarta. Micarta is a composite material made by layering fabric in resin and baking it under high pressure. It is bomb-proof. The texture on the Kiku is machined with a rugged, topographic pattern that looks like a map of a mountain range. It offers incredible traction. The ergonomics are exceptional, the handle fills the palm perfectly, and the balance point is right at the index finger, making the knife feel weightless and lively in the hand. Included is a Kydex sheath. Kydex is a thermomolded plastic that snaps onto the knife with a reassuring click. It holds the blade securely upside down or sideways without any straps, allowing for rapid deployment. This is a sophisticated, high-speed, low-drag weapon for someone who appreciates the art of the blade as much as its function. Number 1. Umarex T4E HDB 6.8 Home Defense Blaster. Priced to $180. Here we are. The number 1 spot. The ultimate home defense solution that bridges the gap between a stern warning and lethal force. You have seen the double-barrel shotguns, and you have seen the pump actions. But this is the HDB, the Home Defense Blaster. And the key word here is semi-automatic. In a high-stress situation, remembering to pump a shotgun or reload after 2 shots is a liability. The HDB solves this. It holds 16 rounds of .68 caliber ammo in an internal tube magazine. You pull the trigger, it fires. You pull the trigger again, it fires again. As fast as you can move your finger, you can put 16 rounds of pain downrange. That volume of fire is overwhelming. It looks like a sci-fi short-barreled shotgun. It has an aggressive pistol grip and a carry handle that houses the rear sight. The intimidation factor is off the charts. If you point this at an intruder, they are not thinking, is that a paintball gun? They are thinking, I am about to die. The ammo versatility is massive. You can load this with solid nylon kinetic balls that hit like a hammer, breaking ribs and causing massive bruising. You can load it with pepper balls that explode on impact, creating a cloud of chemical irritant. Or you can stack the magazine, load the first 2 rounds as pepper balls to blind them, and the next 14 as solid solids to finish the fight. It is powered by a standard 12-gram CO2 cartridge hidden in the grip. But here's the genius part. It features the quick pierce system. You can load a fresh CO2 cartridge and screw it in, but not puncture it. The gun sits in your closet, unpressurized, for months or years. When the emergency happens, you grab the grip and smack the bottom knob against your palm. Bam! The cartridge pierces instantly, the system pressurizes, and you are ready to rock and roll in half a second. This prevents the CO2 from leaking out over time, ensuring full power when you actually need it. The .68 caliber round is significantly larger than the standard .50 or .43 caliber rounds used in smaller pistols. The energy transfer is much higher. It's simple, it's reliable, it doesn't require a background check, and it allows you to defend your home with a wall of kinetic energy. It is the king of the non-lethal hill. There you have it. 15 tools that prove you don't need gunpowder to protect your castle. From the surgical precision of the Spyderco Yojimbo to the semi-automatic dominance of the Umarex HDB, your options are vast. Remember, the best weapon is the one you have practiced with. Don't just buy this gear and throw it in a drawer. Train with it. Learn the weight, the feel, and the function. If you found value in this deep dive, do us a massive favor and hit that like button. It helps the algorithm get this info to more people who need it. Check the description for the links to everything we discussed today. Stay safe, stay prepared, and we will see you in the next one.